Okay, so here is the long drawn out problem, and I'm going to walk you through step by step. So we have two sets of these super parentheses, right? We have parentheses within the parentheses. So we have to deal with each of these separately before we can do the actual function of the multiplication of the two sets of parentheses. So within the first parenthesis set, we have an exponent. We know that exponents have to be dealt with first. 2/3 to the third power just means 2 times 2 times 2. 2 times 2 is 4. 4 times 2 is 8. 3 times 3 is 9. 9 times 3 is 27. Whoops. Okay. I wrote 8/9. That should say, no, that should stay 8/9. Darn it. Is that the... Yes, that stays at 8/9. So what there's the 27. Okay, so I wrote it down here. So I rewrote the equation after doing this step. So 2 times 2 times 2 is 8. 3 times 3 times 3 is 27. Okay, so this equation now becomes this equation. These fractions, the next step in PEMDAS after exponents is multiplication. There's no multiplication within these parentheses, so we then go to the A, which is addition, or I'm sorry, the D, which is division. Dividing fractions is the same as multiplying its what is it called? You flip it, inverted fraction. So we have 8/9 and 8/27. So 8/27 divided by 8/9 is the same as 8/27 times a negative 9/8. So down here, 8 times a negative 9, and be careful with the signs, equals a negative 72. 27 times a negative, or times 8 is 216. We can reduce 72 2/16, negative 72 2/16, to a negative 1/3. Because 72 equally goes into 216 3 times. 3 times 72 is 216. So we have a negative 1/3. Okay, so now I rewrote it again down here. So we've gotten rid of all of this, 8 and 9 and all this stuff. So we're left with negative 3/4 minus 1/3, which is this right here. And then we still have the minus a minus 2/3. Okay, so our next step, and I wrote these down over here for you. First one was exponent. Number 2 is division within the parentheses. Number 3 was reduce it to a negative 1/3, which is where we did the right here. 72 2/16 is the same as negative 1/3. Come on, phone. Maybe if I go this way, it'll behave more. Okay. Number 4, we have to add within the parentheses. And we do have some addition to handle here. And so we can see the negative 3/4 minus 1/3 minus a minus 2/3. Okay, so the only way we can add fractions is when they all have the same denominator. So the bottom number has to be the same. So what number times 4 is 12? Because we know that our least common denominator between 3 and 4 is going to be 12, right? We can't use 6 because 4 doesn't go into 6 evenly. So 12 is the least common denominator these two numbers share. Okay, so what number times 4 equals 12? 3. So we're going to take 3 times the negative 3, and we'll get negative 9. So we're going to have negative 9/12. And then 1/3, what number times 3 equals 12? It's 4. So 4 times a -1 is -4. Okay? So now we have -9 twelfths plus a -4 twelfths. That equals a -13 twelfths. -9, -4, -13 twelfths. Okay? Now, we still have that minus a -2/3 because we haven't done anything with that yet. Okay? So now in this super parentheses, we are left with -13 twelfths minus a -2/3. Our next step is going to be to combine the like terms or add. Again, we need a common denominator. And that again is going to be 12, right? 1 times 12 is 12. 4 times 3 is 12. So 12 is the common denominator. So again, we're going to go down here. Because it's 12, what number times 12 equals 12? It's 1. So we're just going to carry the -13 down here. Okay, -13 twelfths. What number times 3 gives us 12? 4. So 4 times a -2 is going to be a -8. So -8 twelfths. There's our minus sign for that. And we are still minusing. Minus a minus does what? Cancels it out. Minus a minus becomes a plus. So -13 plus 8 equals -5 twelfths. Okay? All right. We are now done with that left side with the super parentheses. Time to go over to the right side, and we're going to do all the exact same things. We didn't have any exponents to worry about. Yay. So we get to go right to the least common denominator because we've got fractions that we need to add. So what is the least common denominator between 8 and 5? Can't use 24 because 5 doesn't go into it. Can't use 20 because 8 doesn't go into it. Looks like 40 is going to be our lowest common denominator. So if we use 40, what number times 8 equals 40? And that's 5. So -1 times 5 is -5 40ths. What number times 5 equals 40? 8. 8 times a -4 is -32. So -32 40ths. Again, this is our least common denominator, so both fractions should have that same number. Now all we got to do is combine like terms. -5 plus -32 is -37 over 40. Now we're finally ready, and 37 is a prime number, so no, 37 40ths is not reducible, okay? We're finally ready to do the ultimate equation, which is the -5 twelfths that we're left with on this, from all of this, times the -37 40ths, which is what's left when we do this equation. And it equals, we have a minus times a minus, so that's going to give us a positive number. And all we're doing when we multiply fractions, multiply the numerators, multiply the denominators. So -5 times a -37 equals a positive 185. 12 times 40 is 480. So our answer is 185 over 4/80ths. Is that reducible? Yes. Both numbers are reduced by 5, giving us 37/96. Your final answer is 37/96. Now, if we look at page 2 of the document that I sent you, that's what this is showing you. So right here, this is step 1. This is step 2. This is step 3, 4, 5, 6, and finally the answer. I'm hoping this is not, I'm hoping I can put this on the Skype. Otherwise, I might have to upload it to my YouTube and then I'll send it to you that way, okay? But this is showing you in what order we do this, but this is exactly how you carry out each of those functions. Remembering PEMDAS, and within PEMDAS, we have to do it for each set of super parentheses, or these big master parentheses outside of all of the little parentheses, okay? I hope that helps. If not, let me know and I will try again, but I think this should be clear enough for you to follow now. So, all right, I'm going to stop the video and upload it.